Good day. So today I'm going to show you how to deal with this type of question where they just give you a sum formula. So they can tell you that a sum of a certain pattern is given by Sn is equal to 4n squared minus 2n. And then they ask you to find the first three terms, and this is all they give you. So how do we go about it? How do we solve it? Well, it's very simple. First of all, you have to cram this formula. You have to cram that if you want to find any term of the sequence, it's the same as the sum of that number of terms minus the sum of the previous number of terms. So I put s minus 1 because if, let's just say we want to find maybe term 11. If we want to find term 11, it's the same as the sum of 11 terms minus the sum of 10 terms. So it's just the sum of those number of terms minus the sum of the previous number of terms. So hence it's n minus 1. If this is 12, this will be 12 minus 1, which is 11, right? So it's the sum of 11 terms minus the sum of 10 terms. Let's just say maybe we want to find the sum of 9 terms. If we want to find the sum of 9 terms, then it's going to be the sum of 9 terms. Or rather, if we want to find term 9, let's just say we want to find term 9 or T9. It's the same as, so we're going to just say T9 is the same as the sum of 9 terms minus the sum of 8 terms. So it's that simple. So let's just say we want to calculate the 11th term. Let's just say we want to calculate the 11th term. So if we want to calculate the 11th term, it's going to be like I said before, T11 is equals to the sum of 11 terms minus the sum of 10 terms. Now we're going to have to substitute because this is the sum formula, right? So we're going to have to find the sum of 11 terms first, then the sum of 10 terms first, then we subtract them. So let's find the sum of 11 terms. So we know that the sum of 11 terms is the same as, and we're substituting to that formula. So it's going to be 4 into 11 squared minus 2 into 11. And then the answer will be, you'll just verify with me, it should be 462. Right? So we found the sum of 11 terms, which is S11 is 462. Alright, so I just wrote it over there. S11 is 462. So let's find the sum of 10 terms, because in order to find T11, we have to say S11 minus S10. So in order for us to find T11, we have to say S11 minus S10. Just before I continue, if you want to be tutored, either online or physically, online it doesn't matter where you are or which country you are at, you can still be tutored. So we offer cheap online lessons, and if you want to be tutored physically, we can still make an arrangement. So call or WhatsApp this number, but preferably please WhatsApp this number, and then we will take it from there. So what I do is that I tutor people 5 days a week online, and I give tests once a week so that I can check your improvement. All right, so we're going to substitute into this formula, right? So hence we're going to say sum of 11 terms is the same as 4 into 11 all squared minus 2 into 11. And then this, you can verify with me, that should give you 462. So we found the sum of 11 terms, so I'm going to write it over there. So sum of 11 terms is equals to 462. Now let me find sum of 10 terms, because the sum, if we want to find T11, is the same as sum of 11 terms minus sum of 10 terms, right? Or if, let's just say we want to find T8, we'll say T8 is the same as S8 minus S7. That's all you cram, right? So that is all. Whenever they give you the sum formula, you can use it to find any term you want. So sum of 10 terms is the same as, or rather T10. So sum of 10 terms is, when you substitute into that formula, 4 into 10, and then we have that. Okay, so of course 10 squared is 100, so this is the same as 400 minus 20. It should be 380. So we found the sum of 10 terms, which is 380. So since we found that, we found sum of 11 terms and sum of 10 terms, so we can proceed to find term 11. So term 11 is equal to sum of 11 terms minus sum of 10 terms. So then it's going to be 462 minus 380, and that should be equals to 82. So You can verify that with me, not using a calculator. Okay, so it should be 82. So we found T11. So let's just now say they say find the first three terms. You just find it the same way, right? So if they say find the first three terms, we know we're gonna use this formula. But T1, if we use this formula and we say T1, it's gonna be the same as S1 minus S0, but we're not gonna do this. I'm just trying to show you that there's no use, because the sum of zero terms, if I substitute zero there, the whole thing will become zero, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if you wanna find T1, T1 and S1 are the same. Think of it. If we have a pattern like, let's just say 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8, right? The sum of one term is just one term. If we say the sum of two terms, the sum of two terms will be this plus this, right? It will be S2. S2 will be 3. So S2 is 3. But if we just say the sum of one term, we're only counting that term. So the sum of one term is exactly the same as the first term. So I hope you understand this. The sum of one term is just the first term, because we're not adding any other term, right? So there's Tn and there's Sn. Tn, we're just focusing on that specific term. But Sn, we're adding all the terms up to that term. So if we say S1, we're only adding T1, which is just the same as T1. That's all. We're adding it to nothing, right? So T1 is the same as S1. So this formula gets a bit different when we're talking about T1. T1 is just S1, so you don't have to waste your time there. So if we want to find T1, let's find S1. So we'll substitute into that formula. So hence, we're going to have S1, which is equals to just 4 into 1 minus 2 into 1, which is just the same as 4 minus 2, which is 2. So we know S1 is 2, meaning that T1 is also 2. So we found T1. So therefore, T1 is 2. So T1 is 2. So let's find T2. Then we can just go back to the formula, right? So T2 is very simple. We'll just say T2 is the same as S2 minus S1, right? Remember, it's the sum of that term minus the sum of the previous number of terms. So T2 is equals to S2 minus S1. So then let's continue. So it's going to be T2 is equals to, so the sum of two terms when we substitute 2 there. So the sum of two terms will be, okay, let's just find it aside. So we know that S2 will be equals to 4 into 2 squared minus 2 into 2, which are substituting into that formula. So 2 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. So it should be 12. 16 minus 4 should be 12. So we found S2. So now we can go back to that formula. So S2 was 12 minus S1. S1 was T1. We found it before. So that's what we have. So then it means T2 will be equals to 10. So we found T2. T2 is 10. Okay, let's find T3. We're going to find it using the same thing. So T3 is equals to S3 minus S2. So therefore T3 is equals to, so let's find ST. So we already know that S2 is 12, but now we're going to calculate S3. Let's find S3. So S3 is 4 into 3 all, okay, squared, and then we have 2 into 3. Okay, so then this is gonna be 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So then it's gonna be 36 minus 6, which should be 30. You can just verify with me. So it should be 30, right? So we found S3. So S3 is 30. So since we found S3 to be 30, we can proceed with the formula. So then it means it's 30 minus S2, which was 12. So then this should be 28. Yep, should be. No, it can't be 28. It should be 18. Okay, so should be 18. So therefore T3 is 18. So it means T3 is 18. So we found the first three terms. We found term 1, term 2, and term 3. Okay, so we found the first three terms. So this is never difficult. So remember, whenever they ask you to find the first three terms using the sum formula, whenever you have the sum formula, you can use that method to find any term in the sequence. And also remember that S1 is the same as T1, right? All right, so if you enjoyed this video, please like and don't forget to subscribe.